So I make well over 8 figures a year just passively from creating content. And it's funny, a lot of people think that like I spend all my time and all my days creating content, when in fact I have a very leveraged system in order to do so. So I spend about 2 hours a week creating content, and I feel like that's pretty fair considering it brings in well over 8 figures a year in organic sales. So in today's video, I'm just gonna talk high level how I actually structure some of the system. Now what you're about to see is actually a paid presentation. We did 5 live sessions, and I think it was about 8 hours of live training. People paid $100 for that ticket. And then there was a $300 ticket where people actually got 5 extra hours of sort of more intimate training in a smaller group. So yeah, obviously I can't give you all 13 hours of training for free because people paid for that. But in today's video, I'm gonna give you about 30 minutes of training or so, just so you guys can understand from a structural perspective how I go about looking at my organic content system. So with that being said, let's get into it.
We're in for a treat today because we are talking about the $20 million VSL flywheel. Now, just as a bit of a reminder for everyone watching, this is what we're going to be going over. But before we dive into today's topic, let me just share something crazy with you. You see, 3 years ago, I created what became, I think, is the most viewed organic info product VSL in history. In fact, at 10 million views, I think it may potentially be the most viewed info product VSL ever. Now, this single video generated 9.6 million views, 250,000 plus in ad revenue, 184,000 subscribers, and 1.3 million watch hours. That's crazy, 1.3 million hours of people watching me educate them and tell them about my solution and my product. What did that result in? $20 million in direct revenue. And by the way, we can just almost scratch out revenue and just put profit. $20 million in sales from 10 million views. That's what that generated. Now, what's interesting is I went from struggling to make $1 million from YouTube to making over 8 figures from it less than a year later. So if you're someone who's already tried to use YouTube to monetize your personal brand and get info product sales, but you've just had no success and you're having a hard time with things right now, I want you to pay very close attention to this one. Because this $20 million flywheel VSL that I'll show you how to put together is really the core of the system. And let me show you why this is so powerful. I mean, think about, your traditional marketing funnel, okay? You have a few components. You have top of the funnel, you have middle of funnel, and you have bottom of funnel. Now, the way that's kind of broken down to is you get awareness, then consideration, and then you hit the conversion stage. Now, this is really how 99% of online business operate. You cast a wide net at the top, you have an awareness stage, and then you attract a bunch of people. You publish videos, they get millions of views. Some of those people will start to see your ads, and then a very small sliver will actually click on your ads and go to watch your VSL or your webinar. And then from there, an even smaller percentage will actually buy a book a call with your team. Usually a single-digit percentage from that number. That is your bottom of the funnel stage. Your VSL or your webinar is really your conversion asset, right? Now what happens, okay, the way it works with a normal marketing funnel is you need a lot of people at the top. So that way you can just get a few at the bottom, okay? That's how it works normally. But I have a question for you. What would happen to your business if you could take this asset, which is a VSL or a webinar, and actually bring it to the top of the funnel? What if we flip this entire thing on its head? I mean, imagine if your VSL was your most watched video in your entire business. How many more sales would you guys get? Well, I can tell you, it's possible. I experienced it myself, the power of what I'm teaching here today. We're not talking about a 1x, we're not talking about a 2x, we're not talking about a 5x. We're talking about a true 10x in my info business in the space of 12 months, implementing exactly what I'm teaching you here today. That's exactly what this system does. In fact, my most watched YouTube video ever is my VSL. We totally flipped the script. What you need to understand is that this system defies conventional marketing. This flywheel VSL acts both as the bottom of funnel and as the top of funnel at the same time. It's both the attractor and the converter. The result? You attract a new audience. It actually becomes the entry point of your YouTube channel, and it creates awareness from day one about your offer. The truth is, what you guys don't understand is that people are very busy, okay? You just automatically think, okay, someone watched my videos, they know that I have something to sell, and they know what that thing is that I have to sell. That's not true, okay? A lot of times they need multiple touch points, but my question to you is, what if the first touch point? What if their first experience with your business, the way they found out about your business, they already knew what your business had to offer and the benefits of it, and they stepped into your world? That's why this thing generates millions, if not tens of millions of dollars. And what's cool is the older it gets, the more money it makes me. It gets a boost of views for every new video I publish. And I'm gonna talk about this whole system. Really, this is like a intricate web. It's kind of like an intricate web that leads to this Venus flytrap. This flywheel effect that this thing creates is really what allows this video to grow exponentially. So as I said, the older it gets, the better it converts. But today, I'm gonna focus on how to actually structure a winning VSL. It is extremely important that you understand how this entire system works before you start implementing it. And that is why we're actually working from bottom up here instead of top down. So most businesses, when they create a video, it gets some views and then it just stops. Maybe a few hundred people watch it, maybe a few thousand, but then what? You know, and I think when people talk about, oh, I don't want to be on the content hamster wheel, I think this is what they're talking about, okay? They're talking about the old way of doing things, where you create a video and it's not an asset. You know how we were talking about yesterday? Like, you know, everyone knows that if you have a big enough rental property portfolio, you're good. You're set up for the rest of your life. And that's really the way that your YouTube content and your YouTube videos should be. If you have enough of a portfolio of videos, you're set up for life, okay? If you do things the new way. You see, with a flywheel VSL, something different happens. Remember how I showed you that diagram with all the videos pointing to one VSL? I want you to think about it like this. When you're driving, what keeps the car wheels spinning? What is it? It's the engine, right? In our case, every new video we create is like adding more fuel to this engine. So let me show you something that will completely change the way you think about YouTube. And by the way, it's not about making videos, it's about building a system that grows itself. I have a question for you. Have you guys ever noticed when you go to a grocery store, they always, for some reason, put milk at the back of the store? Have you guys ever seen that? Just type a yes. Have you guys ever seen that? And have you ever actually asked and stopped and asked yourself, why do they do this? Well, it's very simple. They know that if you walk past all the other products to get some milk, you're more likely to buy something. So that's why they put it at the back. Everyone needs to wake up and go get fresh milk, okay? So if they know that, they're gonna put it right at the back, because in the process, you're gonna go, that looks interesting, that looks interesting. Let me pick that up, let me pick that up, okay? You're likely to buy more things. That's not an accident, it's a system, okay? Now, what we've built on YouTube works pretty much the same way. We strategically place our content so that way watching one video naturally leads to the next, okay? It all forms one chain. It all leads to you watching more. This system works so well when you understand the YouTube algorithm. Now, the YouTube algorithm really only cares about two things: CTR and watch time. The algorithm wants you to watch a video as soon as possible, because the sooner you click on a video, the more likely you are to spend time on YouTube. So what they did, you know, in the early days of YouTube, is they started promoting videos that got the most clicks when shown to users, okay? So the highest CTR percentage, okay? That's known as click-through rate. But what happened was something that wasn't particularly favorable to them. You know, people started gaming the system. Now, I'm sure you guys have all seen like crazy thumbnails, right? Like a thumbnail like this where they've got, you know, 10 players inside of the goal. People create these like just super like bizarre, strange thumbnails, all right? Because when people see it, of course, they want to click on the video. So that's what YouTube was doing. Now, the issue is it was clickbait. And YouTube soon started to notice that, yeah, maybe people clicked the video, but it was having the opposite effect from what they wanted. As soon as someone realized that the thumbnail was misleading, they would just click away and leave YouTube. It would piss them off, and they would just go, you know what? I'm off. I'm done with YouTube. I'm gonna go do something else. And obviously that's not what YouTube wants. So to fix that, YouTube introduced another parameter that the algorithm takes into account when actually recommending videos: watch time. You see, if they click off of it right away, the watch time would be very low and the video would then not get promoted by the algorithm. Watch time became the most important metric for the algorithm, because quite frankly, YouTube is a business, okay? YouTube wants you to spend as much time as possible on their platform. The more time you spend on the platform, the more ads you're gonna see and the more money YouTube makes. Simple as that, okay? It's purely logic. Now, what happened was after a few years, what they noticed was that CTR plus watch time was good, but it wasn't the holy grail. It wasn't ideal. Think about it. What's one thing that pretty much every single YouTuber has in their video description? Third-party links. Every video you see has oh, this video is sponsored by, so you know they have their sponsor link, maybe they have a Amazon affiliate link, whatever it is, or maybe their sales page, whatever. And YouTube noticed that, okay? YouTube noticed that, and although people were watching full-length videos, they were still clicking off the platform as soon as they finished it. And that's the one thing the algorithm doesn't want, okay? For you to leave the platform. For example, do you ever wonder why it feels like you're playing against the algorithm when you're running ads? I don't know if you guys have ever felt that. You're like, I'm running ads, and then it just feels like when I upload organic content, YouTube doesn't like me. Like YouTube's trying to put me in a box. Have you guys ever experienced that? Anyone who's running ads? Just type a yes or no if you've ever experienced and you've had that feeling like, okay, I'm running ads, and then now all of a sudden it feels like, YouTube's kind of punishing me. You're getting punished. Like, it's so funny, you're getting punished for giving them money. It's crazy. Well, that's because you are. You see, the algorithm doesn't want people clicking on your ads. I know that sounds crazy, but it doesn't actually want people clicking on your ads. Because if you click out of YouTube, you're not gonna see any more ads. In an ideal world, okay, you just go from video to video to video, and you just get served multiple ads, but you don't click on any of them. YouTube doesn't make money when people click on ads. It actually only makes money when you see ads. So the more ads people see and the less they click, the more money YouTube makes. So they needed a way to ensure that people not only watch one video, but multiple videos to maximize time on platform. So they actually made a slight change to their algorithm. They started to optimize for CTR plus session watch time. Okay, they don't count for how long a user watches a video, but instead, how long they stay on platform after watching that first video that they clicked. And this is what we refer to as session starters, okay? You got one video, then take someone to the next video, the next video, next video, and again, and again, and again. And that really became the North Star for the algorithm, which for you means that if you get people to watch multiple of your videos in a row, the algorithm will not stop promoting your videos. You're aligned, okay? Your incentives are aligned with YouTube. And trust me, when YouTube likes you, when you're aligned with YouTube, you wake up and you're like, how is this so easy? How is this so elegant, so effortless? Well, you need to align with incentives, okay? And that's precisely what we do when we link our own videos in the description and tell people to watch it, continuing that chain, right? As you can see right here. Instead of cutting our session watch time with third-party links, we actually incentivize viewers to watch more videos from us straight on YouTube. Now, this way, we are playing the algorithm's game instead of playing against it. And most importantly, all of our videos actually point in the same direction, to our VSL. So no matter what video they watch from our channel, inevitably, they end up back at the same point, which is our VSL. And most importantly, for every person who clicks on the VSL through the links in the description, 3 more people get recommended. Because that click skyrockets the CTR and session watch time of the video, I should say. And this thing just turns into this cascading effect. It's this snowball effect that once you start it, it can't be stopped. Altogether, this thing creates a flywheel effect. The older the video gets, the more views linking to it, the more views it gets, the better the system works, so on and so forth. And it is simply exponential. I mean, think about it. We literally create a funnel inside of YouTube. When you walk into a store and someone immediately tries to sell you something, what happens? You leave, right? But what if instead they helped you solve a problem, they understood your situation, and then they offered you a solution? This is the exact approach I take when I structure the VSL. This is the exact thing that I do that really sets this whole thing apart. Now here's a few shoulds and shouldn'ts. You should not sell immediately. You should not push product. You should not chase views. Instead, you want to help first, you want to solve problems, and you want to build trust. And I know those are like very loaded words, and like that can mean many things. I'll actually break down what that means. Let me show you the exact structure. First, what most people refer to as a pattern interrupt, I don't think about that as a pattern interrupt, but rather as mysteries, okay? Most people overcomplicate pattern interrupts. It's actually quite simple. You just need to say something that makes people think, that sounds interesting. Let me see what this is all about. It's actually very simple to do that. For example, in our $20 million VSL, I open by saying the infamous words, "We are entering a new era. Everything is changing. The way we buy, the way we work, the way we live, and so does the way people do business. We are entering what experts are calling the new arbitrage economy." Now, when people hear that, they go, fuck, that sounds interesting. Let me see what this is about. I mean, think of creating mystery like setting up a movie trailer. You want to tease something that makes people go, I need to know how that works, while also making them feel that they're going to have a competitive advantage by understanding it. Now, here's a quick formula. Take 2 ideas that people already know about them, connect them in an unexpected way, and then name this new connection something simple but intriguing. Give you an example. What if I told you YouTube has a secret second algorithm that 99% of creators are completely unaware of? You see, while everyone is obsessing about getting more views. The real money is made by understanding this hidden system that actually runs behind the scenes. That's one way you would frame it. Now this works because, listen, people already understand, they acknowledge that YouTube has an algorithm. But a second algorithm sounds intriguing. It sounds, oh, there's something behind the scenes. There's a mystery that I don't know about. And if I did know about that, then I would have a competitive advantage, right? Another example could be content compounding. You see, when you combine a familiar concept of compound interest with content creation, that can actually explain how videos build on top of each other. When you say, listen, the way that I've been able to hit X amount of yada yada, or the way I've been able to get X or Y or Z result is because of content compounding. I can't tell you what the fuck that means, but I definitely want to keep watching the video because clearly it works for you and clearly it's something that makes sense, sparks intrigue, sparks mystery, and there you go. There's your hook. Next, you need to show people that you understand their problem better than they do, okay? This is really where most people get it wrong. Most people will talk about features, list benefits, push products. Our way, we talk about problems, we compare solutions, that's very important, and then we give them steps. Now I know that might sound super generic, okay? I get it, trust me, but the devil's in the detail. So let me show you in practice how to actually make your offer the obvious choice without ever feeling salesy. I call this the report card method. This thing is so genius. I can't wait to get into this. I nearly didn't share the report card method, actually. I know my CMO is watching this. He's pissed I'm sharing this right now. We've all been there. School report card. I remember mine. I'm sure maybe some of you guys know. I never actually finished school, so I was dreading these whenever they came in. Report cards, all right? School report cards. They made it crystal clear who was doing well and who wasn't. My question to you is, what if we could grade solutions the same way using simple criteria that everyone agrees matters? All right, what if we use this system? By the way, use this system in your favor. Let me explain. Imagine you go to a restaurant and you're trying to choose between a burger and a salad. Now, if you care about taste, price, and how full you're gonna feel after, of course, the burger will win. But if you care about calories, health, and energy after eating, well, then suddenly the salad becomes the obvious choice. Our job here is not to push the salad. We just wanna show what matters most to your goals. So here's the big secret. Here's how you actually use the school report method, the school card report method. You wanna make it indisputable that your solution is the best in the market. And the way you do that is you pick criteria where your solution wins. You're stacking the odds in your favor. You cannot lose by implementing this. Now you use these as universal measuring sticks when you compare the competition. So you show fair comparisons across multiple options, and then you just let viewers connect the dots themselves. That's it. So if you go back to that restaurant example, if you want the burger to win, of course, you push the ingredients, the taste, how good it looks, okay? Whereas if you want the salad to win, well then you're gonna start showing on the menu, you're gonna show the calories, the health benefits, and the nutrients they get from it. And as a result, whatever you wanna sell immediately seems like the best option. And the best part is you don't sell. You just let people come to their own conclusions, all right? People just agree with it because by the time they agree with the criteria, your solution has already won because you're using the best criteria that fits for your solution. And the secret is, they always agree with the criteria. And the byproduct of structuring your VSL using this method is that people don't realize they're being sold to. In fact, they thank you for opening their eyes. It's nuts. I mean, if you look at the comments, people are so positive because, nowhere during the video do I actually sell anything or push anything until it comes time to present my offer. The secret isn't in selling, it's in educating. When you show people the truth in a way that makes sense, they actually say thank you for opening their eyes. Now, drop a yes in the comments if this is starting to make sense. Are you starting to understand how to position your offer in a way where it's effortless? Once again, remember that word elegant. For me, elegance is super important in the way that I conduct business. I want to have a long career. And the way you have a long career is by showing up and having a business that's set up in a way that's elegant, effortless, all right? For me, I don't want to sell. I don't want to aggressively sell, all right? For me, it's not fun. I don't want to sell. I just want to educate. But I do need to stack the odds in my favor, okay? And this is really where most people mess it up. They just stop here. They think they have the best solution, so people are just going to buy from them. Let me tell you a secret. This is a real shame. Unfortunately, this is just the way the world works. Just because you have the best solution does not mean you're going to make the most money. In order for people to buy after watching, you always have to get them to say, I can do this. Now, good news for you is we have a way to actually get people to say that. All right, let me show you how we do this using our most successful video. It is called the bridge strategy. So before you ever present your offer, there's actually two sales that need to happen. In my VSL at least, those 2 sales were why SMMA, social media marketing, is the best choice and why they can do it too. You see, first you need to sell them on your solution as the best solution. And that's, by the way, what we did with the school card report method. And that's where most people just stop their argument. They're like, oh, cool, well, my solution is the best solution, so, okay, you're gonna buy now. But what happens next is the viewer needs to know that they're actually capable of implementing such solution. I mean, listen, you would not jump off a diving board before knowing how to swim. Like, I could show you the best method to jump off a diving board and you would understand that, okay, cool, jumping off this diving board is gonna be a thrill and I'm gonna have fun and I'm gonna enjoy it. Like, I could sell you all the benefits of jumping off a diving board. Hey, you're gonna have 5 seconds of airtime and it's gonna be bliss and you're gonna feel the air in your hair and it's gonna be amazing, but you're like, I can't fucking swim. I'm not going to jump. I don't know how to swim. So that is why you need to make sure, you need to reinforce that they're actually capable. Or the opposite. I can create the best argument ever on why becoming a quantum physicist is the best and most guaranteed way for you to become a millionaire. All right, so let's say I had the craziest VSL ever, and I implemented all the systems and all the things I'm showing you here today, and I make it 100% clear why being a physicist, a quantum physicist, is the best path. And I get you to believe that. But even if you believe it, you're like, oh, cool, I get it. That's the best path for me to become a millionaire. You go, okay, I can see how that's the case, but that's useless for me because I don't understand anything about this domain. I don't have what it takes to actually become a physicist. So even though your argument might be true, it doesn't get me to take action and actually move forward with this system and what it is that you're actually selling, your solution. So first, we create what I call the business model report card. And by the way, this doesn't only apply to business. Let's say, for example, it's anything in your industry. Let's say you're in fitness, right? So imagine the fitness model report card, why your mechanism and your way of actually getting people results with fitness is the right method. But in our case, we'll use the business model report cards just so that way you can understand. So what we do is we actually compare every single popular online business. So drop shipping, Amazon FBA, affiliate marketing, and social media marketing. And then we use 6 simple criteria that everyone cares about. Startup cost, time to first sale, profit margin, control, scalability, and location freedom. Now, just like a school report card makes it obvious who's the top of the class, this makes SMA the clear winner. I have just taken a bunch of different variables that I know I'm gonna win at, okay? And I've put them on this report card. Now, technically, this report card could have been like an extra 20 different variables, and those extra variables could have not been in my favor. That's why I didn't put it on there. You wanna stack the odds in your favor, okay? But here's where most people mess up. They stop proving that their solution is the best, or sorry, they stop after that, okay? Now, okay, cool, I proved my solution is the best, great, done, finished. They know my solution is the best, so give me your credit card. That's not what you do. You need to spend 75% of your video showing people how simple it is to start. Now, we took the 4 biggest reasons that people think they can't do it, and we turn them each into simple steps. By the way, guys, just so you understand, this is why we create a lot of this, like the niche content, and this is why we create the feeder videos, is because when you create the feeder videos, you start to understand, okay, what are the doubts, what are the concerns, what are the things, the limiting beliefs holding my market back? And then you put that all into the VSL. So for us, I don't know how to start a business. I don't know what to sell. I don't know how to deliver the service. I don't know how to get clients. For us, the magic really happens in step 3, which I'll get into in a second, but this is what we turned it into. Okay, well, setup, you just buy a domain and set up an email, and we show you how to do that in 2 minutes, and it costs $5. You choose your niche and service using our checklist, and that checklist, once again, takes you 5 minutes. Super easy, don't even worry about it, don't stress about it. This was a big one, delivery. Instead of delivering yourself, you just use contractor arbitrage, and I'll explain that in a little bit. For clients, you follow our outreach templates, plug and play, boom, easy, done. So let's talk about contractor arbitrage. You see, just like Uber doesn't own cars and Airbnb doesn't own homes, we show them how to deliver services without being an expert. Okay, they simply connect clients with contractors who do the work. Arbitrage, that is an arbitrage play. I mean, look at the comments. The comments on this video, people aren't complaining or pissed off that we pitched a product. They're saying, thank you for opening my eyes, because we didn't sell, we educated and we let them come to their own conclusions. We just laid out the truth in a way that makes the next step so obvious. Now, when someone watches your VSL, they're not just watching a video, okay? They're seeing proof that their problems can be solved. Every story you share, every result you show, it's building belief. And this is why our VSL still converts 3 years later. Now, unfortunately, it broke my heart, man, that we couldn't get it to 10 million views. We actually ended up, we stopped selling this offer back in November, so we had to unfortunately unlist the video. But yeah, for 3 years, it was pumping. You see, when someone sees real proof that something works, timing doesn't matter. The message is timeless. Now, have you guys ever watched something that completely changed the way and sort of completely reframed your mind of what was possible? That's really the powerful part. When someone finishes watching, the 2 sales are done. And at that point, they already believe that your solution is the best solution in the market. And more importantly, they believe that they are capable of applying that solution themselves. And once those 2 sales are done, presenting your offer becomes the next logical step. And that's why the flywheel VSL converts so well. Now let's take a look at the difference between a bad VSL and a good VSL. Bad VSL, you pitch first, you force the sale, you push product, whereas a good VSL, you make the solution indisputable. You make the viewer believe that they are capable of doing it. And then you just make your offer the next logical step. And this is why all of the feeder videos actually point to the VSL. They all funnel up and they all flow up to the VSL. Now, once someone goes through these steps, they believe that they can do it themselves. I mean, think about it. When's the last time you bought something because someone pushed you to buy? Never. If someone aggressively pushes you to buy, you don't want to buy the thing. You know, people buy when they're ready. Now, as I said, your job isn't to force. Your job is simply to educate, break their limiting beliefs, and then that's it. Your solution is the right solution for them, right? You don't buy when someone tries to force and push something down your throat. And that's really the difference. I hope you guys are actually starting to understand the difference between the way we do it, the new way versus the old way. You know, where all these old marketers, everything's just about like hammer them from 100 different points. And it's just so aggressive, man. All right? Comment me if you're starting to see the difference. If you're starting to see how this new way is effortless, right? This new way, like you're actually gonna enjoy going to work. The cool thing is, as I said, you're gonna make way more money, but you're just gonna enjoy it. As I said, like I'm 10 years into being an online entrepreneur. I guess 9 years properly, let's say 9 years properly. Man, I'm having more fun now than I've ever had. I'm having more fun now than I have ever had because I'm doing it this way. I'm doing it the effortless way, the elegant way.